What is up, everyone? What is going on? Here with another episode for you. Brand new week, brand new episode of the Spit It Out podcast. The podcast of what you've been hearing, but haven't actually. No, I said that wrong. The podcast of what you've been thinking, but haven't actually been here. You know, it's been 2 weeks now since the last episode, and just forgot how to run the show. But we are here. We're going to get right into it for you guys. As you can see, if you're watching, of course, on youtube.com/Jayson Yessir, first 20 minutes of every episode of the podcast, you're going to go ahead and view this week. JJ is in the building in the Spit It Out Studios.
I'm here.
There's only two cameras.
Oh.
Only two.
I don't know. That line. That
The
light
others
is
are just lights.
blinding me.
If you guys aren't watching, he's over here pointing in every direction thinking there's 50 cameras. We don't got a big of a budget just yet, so there's only two cameras. But yeah, JJ is back in the house. Brand new episode, brand new week. Got the co-host back in the building. You already know what it is. What's up? How you been? How's everything going?
Good.
I'm actually, you said it was kind of warm. I think I might be getting warm now that I think of it.
These lights are like...
the lights are blinding. I got a bucket hat on.
Three there, one here, one there.
Of the lights, yeah, well, overhead lights and got lights in every direction.
I feel like actually like an actual artist, or like a comedian. You know how they be sweating all on stage.
Like I'm acting like brand new. I haven't done this in a little while, like I said. So I just
you have a hat on.
But yeah, if you guys aren't watching, I'm wearing a bucket hat currently, and it is a little different because for me to hear, it's over the bucket hat, so it is a little muffled sounding. Like when the things were playing, I was like, huh.
I usually do that actually when I'm playing PlayStation. I have like a hoodie on sometimes, and then after I put the headphones like over the hoodie, and it kind of feels better though, like that, because this part.
Oh, okay.
Like it's too hard,
so it's not just resting directly on your head. I would wear like other hats in other episodes, but I was always able to still like tilt it and put it under the hat. But this is kind of, I don't have to flap it up. It's just a whole. It's gonna be the last time I wear a bucket hat for an episode. Yeah, so anyways, back in the building for you guys. It was not an episode last week, and that was honestly just because I felt like if I put an episode together, it wasn't going to be worthwhile, and it was just going to be a crap of an episode put together. It wasn't going to be anything good, so I said, you know what, let me not put something out there that's going to be,
and
crap.
It was actually pretty hectic and chaotic, like,
yeah, well,
doing stuff too. When I arrived and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been pretty busy here and there with just things going on and getting things together. We're, like I mentioned before in the past, work-wise, personal-wise, all that. So it's still been a pretty busy process during the last few weeks, and just trying to get things going along. Luckily, the episode before, not last week, the one before that, I was pretty much pre-recorded, so that's why I was able to get that one out. But if I didn't do that either, if I didn't pre-record it, which was a good thing, there probably wouldn't have been one, or I would have been rushing. So it would have been like a
Puerto Rican
out too. All right, slow down now with the dad jokes. It would have been another week that I wouldn't have had out. So I'm glad that I did go ahead and put that out early enough for you guys. Did it early enough and all that, but I don't like to be too ahead, and I mentioned this in the past before. I like to still be current with things, don't want to be too ahead, but I still want to be like,
I mean, there's certain things that you can be ahead of in life.
Yeah.
Paying bills.
Of course.
Of
course. That's something that I do like to. I don't like to owe anyone no money or be behind on bills like that. Knowing I owe money, especially that new bill come out and then you still owing on the back bill, and then they put in late fees on top of it because you owe them some money and all that, so then never win in that situation. But, yeah, we're going to get back into the swing of things and just keep on going. Got these episodes to put out for y'all, and was pretty much, at the peak. I don't want to say peak now, at the downfall, but I'm saying where, like, everything was busy, max busyness. Now it's
right now we're at halftime. That's what it is. We're at halftime. Okay. You better be at the second quarter.
A quick breather.
Yeah. Now going into the second half. I mean, I'm just saying, too, because, this year is actually, with everything going on.
Well, literally the second
really
half,
fast.
now that we talk about
we're
it.
We're in July right now, so that's fast already.
Damn. No, it's quick. 2020, halfway over with already. Hit in July. Beginning of this.
July.
I've
been seeing a lot of, like, memes and stuff like that.
Of what, July?
But saying, like, July.
I remember it was like, what was it? July's first draft pick. what it was like some type of, not a pandemic, but something else that was like, what else 2020 gonna bring? And it was like July's first draft.
Oh yeah. No, they were like, so the first pick of the July draft is, and then they were like,
do you remember what it was?
No, but I think it just ended like that.
Oh, it was, I think the
what, that dust thing that happened? Remember?
No, so you spoke about that. I still haven't seen about that. It might have been about
we overcame that. It was supposed to already happen.
Oh, this past weekend.
That time we went out for that walk on the trail.
I don't even know what we're talking about, so we should explain first. It was a dust storm, right?
Yeah,
windstorm, dust storm.
I think a dust storm
coming from Africa. You said, I think, right?
Yeah, it was from Africa, and it's supposed to be like going certain southern states.
And it was supposed to hit her so, but I don't remember seeing anything about it. Okay, so last weekend we passed that. But no, what I was speaking of, I think that they were saying the first draft pick of July, Bring It On, was about the pigs. Now they're saying there might be a new, like how the swine flu was. Yeah. Now there might be a new type of disease or something where these pigs are giving off and humans can contract it, coming from China again, and they're saying it could be like the next pandemic or so. And I'm just
I don't think us Hispanics really care because they love that chicharron, like when they're frying that up and all this.
I know the only ones that are safe are what, like Muslims, right? They don't do pork. I got my religions wrong.
No,
I think it's Muslim, right? They don't eat pork. If you're Muslim, you don't eat pork.
I will say though, like, well, obviously you don't eat pork at all like that, but I don't really either like that.
Let's see.
I gotta stay away from the red meat.
Prohibitions in Islamic law.
Okay.
So it like Islamic, they don't do pork. Yeah, Muslims do not eat pork. So I guess they would be safe because they ain't having no pig. But what these pandemics coming out?
Well, it's always something. Yeah, something.
Speaking of pandemics, we're obviously still in one.
Yeah.
Now you've been here. People that don't know, obviously you flew in. You got flown in. Go through that, though. I want to hear and let the people know how that was and the experience and going back, because you were, what I should say, an avid traveler.
Well, yeah, especially last
traveling
year,
back and forth a lot.
Every month.
Then things hit this year where obviously slowed down, took a toll a lot. But how would you compare, and what were like normal,
like precautions or like how they
things that you did or whatever that normally, or you had to do extra precaution, like what?
I would say everything was the same when I came. The only thing that was different was obviously now, they have to take your temperature, the touchless one, they take your temperature at your forehead before you get on. And
so wait, the people that were taking your temperature were the ones that call out the boarding, like when you're about to board, right there?
Yeah, right at the desk. Okay.
So they didn't take your temperature at the security checkpoint?
No.
See, I find that strange.
So actually when I arrived, I had an early flight too, so when I arrived, it was like nobody. There was obviously people there, but it was like empty. So I was able to go through the TSA like checkout line and all that checkout, but the line
self checkout
to for my ticket and everything. Went through the TSA. And then when I went to the gate, just waited. I mean, some people they were sitting every other seat, waiting for us to board and all that stuff. But
social distance.
I was over like by the wall, away from everybody. And then they say too that you should wash your hands before getting on the plane. Yeah. So even though I wasn't really doing anything,
wash your hands whenever you.
I wasn't really doing anything. So I went to the bathroom like when I first got there, and then right before we boarded the plane, just to do it again, because I was like thinking like, oh, are they gonna be like, hey, did you wash your hands? Did you wash your hands? Did you wash your hands?
Double checking.
Seeing that, but one thing actually too, when you because I flew in Hartford, that airport. So over there they had a sign and it says that everybody should have to wear a mask. Well, right when
so
I
this
get in
is
there,
now you're speaking of when you walked into the airport. The first thing you're seeing are like
like around the sliding door
as you're getting into the airport.
Yeah, itself. Everybody should have.
Yeah, I was gonna say first back up and go through that process.
So when I walk
as
in,
you arrive,
the sign says everybody should have a mask, and then everybody I seen there had a mask until I got to the gate. When I got to the gate, now I'm seeing little kids and stuff. They don't have a mask on. I mean, they had it with them, but they didn't have it on.
How old?
Probably like. I'll say I range from 3 to like 10.
Okay, because that's around the age. If you're like 3 and younger, then they say no. But they were at least old enough.
They were walking
like, you
fine.
Been
they were over there flipping their mom off. Like, come on, they're old enough.
The same kids that were sitting in the strollers that can walk.
But like that, even with the parent, they didn't have no mask. And like I said, they weren't eating at the time. But they were just walking regular. So then I say this now because since everybody has to wear a mask, now we're looking at the people that are not wearing the mask and be like, oh, like. It's weird,
Yeah,
or like they look at us like that, like, oh, they're still doing they're still doing their normal things,
throwing shade. I see you.
But yeah, that was that. Like I said, everything to me was still the same except for that. It's different now. But then I also had to sign paperwork was saying like how long were you going to be.
I heard of that.
Your destination, how long you're going to be there, and then to be quarantined for 14 days. Obviously, I already have done that. Or they say if you're there longer than 14 days, you're supposed to be quarantined throughout the whole time. So say if you're at a destination for like 3 months, you need to be quarantined throughout the whole time.
Wait, what?
So on the paper it says they want you to put the address and all that stuff where you live. Okay. So like me, where I live, and then
where you're going,
where I'm going. Mm-hmm. So then after saying like where, then I also put like I was going to play in that tournament in Georgia, but obviously I never went. I put that down, and then it says like how long for your duration are you going to be wherever, so and so, and stuff like that. And then like I said, if you're only there for 3 days, if you're going for a weekend, then obviously you can still quarantine for those 3 days. But if it's longer than 2 weeks, then you just put like you have to stay there at that destination where you're going to be
for 2 weeks
time. Or more than 2 weeks.
That's the part I'm losing at. But if you're traveling
so like that, I'm here for like basically 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks, that's like the
quarantine
minimum or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're staying somewhere longer for a month, 2 months, whatever, you still should be quarantined at that location.
Instead of going on other places.
Yeah,
I guess they still want to keep you.
They're trying to do it safe because then after now, they're giving out the fines and all that stuff and everything, or somebody can be watching you, I guess, but nobody really does that.
Well, not that we know of as of yet. We haven't heard, but exactly. I'm sure soon enough there'll be probably stories along where it's like, hey, someone got caught. Florida man got caught not quarantining. But what the process though inside the airport, was that different? Like, did you notice anything more hand sanitizer things around the whole place or anything different?
I feel like, well, I honestly didn't look for like all that stuff like sanitizing station over there, over here. To me, everything looked the same as normal. I mean,
less crowded,
and just like I said, just more precautions of.
And the flight that you was on was early.
At least in the
airline. It was an early.
It was an early
morning, early afternoon.
I landed in the afternoon. Yeah.
So it wasn't like different or anything then. In the process, just like them doing their little protocols was different.
Yeah, and then because then after like with them too, they didn't want it to be all crowded to get on the plane, so they had everybody start from the back and work your way forward. Lucky me, I was one of the first forward ones. Like you had
first class. So then you got on last.
Yeah, I was like one of the like last ones.
Yeah.
Did that. I signed the paperwork on the plane, even though I had asked the what are they called, steward?
Yeah.
Or
flight attendant.
So I was like, "Excuse me, can I get a pen?"
You didn't do the beep the thing.
No,
I don't think I've ever beeped
like
one of those things.
When they were like, "Okay, we have like 30 minutes left until we land." I said, may I have a pen, please? And then I just filled out the paper like that. Then I was supposed to give that paper right when I get off the plane. At the gate to somebody, which I did, but there's like 3 or 4 people right there, and then I was like, oh crap, they gave me a certificate and everything, but it was just saying like, if you do feel sick,
thank you for completing.
Yeah, go to the hospital and all that stuff and check your symptoms and everything.
You're
a winner.
I'm just joking. But so they still offer the service, like beverage service and all that? No. So what I heard, because I had my fake AirPods in, but I had those on. So you act like you were playing music?
No, well, I did have that music,
okay.
But they said it before you even got on the plane. Like they announced it, and they were like, "Oh, we won't be serving any drinks." The only thing they said was water, but it wouldn't be for free.
They would charge you.
They were charging, so
less people to ask
now.
them.
Oh, like that's it. You guys don't know, but already like going on 2 months. I've been working out. For 2 months straight, and I need my water intake, so I didn't have no water on.
So you was a little pissed.
I was like, man, I got to pay for water, $8 water, and it was less than this.
$8 for real?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying, but it'll probably be like 4 or 5.
I don't even think the alcohol costs $8.
Yeah, I think it does. And
the
it's
alcohol,
the shot, yeah.
So they were still serving alcohol?
No, nothing. No snacks. And actually, too, on the plane, the bathrooms in the front and the back. So in the front. At one point, I think they like blocked off that entrance for nobody to go, and then they used that cart of the food, and then you just see the lady cart. Like this, like looking
in front of it.
Yeah, looking. It was funny, but I was listening to music, trying to fall asleep, but I couldn't. It's one of those things on the airplane. It's really hard to fall asleep.
But see, I had recently read an article where it was stating that they wouldn't be serving alcohol. And I don't know if it had to do with the pandemic. or if it was just something in general. But it was a couple of airlines. Let me see if I can find. American Airlines, I think, was part of it, and then
like I said, they didn't take that card out and do anything.
American Airlines, Delta Airlines, and what else? But see, I don't know if this was just to do with the pandemic or banning alcohol on flights. But see, I'm like, I never was the type to order alcohol on a flight.
I've only did it.
The flight's been too
I've
short.
I've done that a couple times. One time, I remember the first time, probably 5-6 years ago.
Oh, an update.
I didn't even order any drinks. Guy next to me, brand new, he had nips, and hey, you want it? I was like, I'm okay. He was
offering you them?
Yeah, he was like, nah. I was like, nah, I'm okay. And then after, he was like, oh, here, just take it. After
the personal bartender on the
me and him both like cheers and then took a shot. But other than that, for my birthday last year, it was me and Sita. We did it. He was like, oh, yo, I got you for your birthday. You know,
see, I've had shots. Alcohol before the flight, like in the airport, like
like when you go to the club. You were pre-gaming to go.
But like that, waiting there and just like a glass of wine or so, but never on the flight itself. But the last couple of flights like that, they've been short to the flight under 3 hours or so. Where I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get wasted drunk
like that too. Yeah, that's another thing why too. Because I was like, every time coming to Florida, I always feel the flights get shorter and shorter every time.
Yeah,
like this one, I feel like I got here right at 2 hours. Like I think I texted you.
It was probably that less people also, so it's easier to board the plane. And they're probably also I know before, like you would get there earlier than when it would say expected arrival time. But I'm thinking now they probably are adding in buffering times in between even more. So you're like, oh, I got there early, but it's like, they're just adding in time to figure if this takes longer, or they, now they got to go through this and go through that, or clean down this, wipe this down. So they're probably adding in more buffering time between each flight. And
I don't know too. Like, remember how we went to Walmart and you seen the guy, he was spraying everything, like with water in the plants like that. I don't know. I think they should do it on the plane like that. Unless
but they're not even the ones that clean it. I remember I was watching.
They have their own team,
like a video or whatever. Yeah, and it's like American Airlines people don't clean the flight. It's different that come in and do all that. Yeah.
I think, when we're getting off, I seen one lady already waiting to do that and stuff like that. I mean, I know there was more, but yeah, they were doing all that.
Right here, Delta. After a lot of backlash, this was an update as of the 1st of July. After a lot of backlash, Delta has decided to resume serving alcohol on certain flights. Complimentary beer and wine will be served on all domestic first class and Comfort Plus customers on flights over 500 miles starting July 2nd. So they're just giving it away at this point. People were complaining. They said, okay, we'll make it better. Instead, we're going to just offer it for free. And
that's why, because people are complaining. Like, why are you complaining about it? Like, you don't need a drink
people
on there.
People complain about everything. It's freaking ridiculous.
Like, I needed to ease my flight or whatever. Then try to go to sleep or take a pill or something like that. They have all that stuff.
Or do a road trip and get in your car and drive instead, or take the train or do something else if it's gonna bother you that much. But also, what do you refer to as I have a feeling, but for people that don't, the bottles itself. You know how they're the small alcohol? You call it a...
Well, I think it's a up north thing. I think we call them like nips.
Yeah. It is, I think, more so up north, because I've said it down here before a couple times here in Florida, and people are like, "What was that?"
What are they?
I've heard a lot of people call them as airplane bottles.
I never heard.
Like more and more recently, I've heard people refer to it like, "Oh, the little airplane bottles, the little airplane alcohol." Like they've used the word airplane.
I don't think any
or a flight or something like that.
Like traveling.
I've heard many bottles like that.
Yeah, I would say even with
shots. People refer to it as shots.
Okay, yeah, that's what it probably like that. I would say like going to out here you can go. Well, I don't think they don't serve that at gas stations, like the nips.
Yeah.
Oh, they do. Oh well, I wouldn't know because I never
gas
do
station. I don't know if I've actually. I think you were saying at the liquor stores out here they call them that too. No,
I'm saying when you go into liquor stores, you don't even get like nips or like that.
But I've seen them. I know they're usually by the register. And
so you'd be like, them. Can I get? What do you guys call it?
No, most of the time you just grab them, and bring them to the.
Yeah, well, unless
some places if they have it like behind it, you can't get to it. But no, I've heard other people and recently and just listening to other things and they refer to like some airline bottles or airplane bottles and stuff. And I'm like, I always know it as a nip bottle. Yeah. But then I've heard other people use like that as a shots, like little shot bottle and stuff. Yeah, let's go to commercial break really quickly, though. We'll be right back. If you guys haven't noticed, things are pretty much the same. Still trying to work on a new intro. I say this all the time. How hard am I really working on it? But gonna go do that shortly, hopefully soon. But anyways,
you guys actually see like how bougie he is with a straw?
The reason for that is because it's easier for me to take a sip than to
instead of going like this in here.
All that, and then also too, you guys aren't watching youtube.com/Jayson Yessir first 20 minutes. It's quicker to take a sip with a straw than to like turn it up and make it more awkward and that, or if I'm gonna quickly say but you know, the straw is just easier, that's all. And it is a reusable straw, so everyone out there complaining, this is not going in the turtle's nose anytime soon. So no plastic. Well, it is still plastic, but it's reusable. Okay. Anyways, let's go to commercial break. We'll be right back. We got some more things to get into for y'all. We got JJ in the studio, the Spit It Out Studios this week, and yeah, don't go.